Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing LEGO sets and building them and other LEGO related stuff. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at the LEGO Marvel Spider-Man magazine number 4. This is another magazine I brought back from Europe with me. I have my Sobrix and Missy Alexander representations that also came with me to Europe. This particular magazine is from Italy, I believe. So I've looked at one from the UK that I brought back. I've looked at UK ones in the past. I've looked at a French one recently, and now I'm looking at an Italian one. The rest of the ones I brought back, those are the only 3 countries that I went to, so they're either going to be Italian, French, or English. And this one comes with the poly bag or paper pack here with the Spider-Man and Spider-Crawler with 43 pieces. I paid, I think, just under €7 for this. That's what the retail price is on the back. In Italy, that's what this was. I think a lot of the ones in France were about the same, maybe a few cents off. And I don't speak Italian, and I don't know how to read Italian, just like with the French one, so I'm going to try to do my best. But then I'm going to be reviewing this as a Lego set on its own, so we'll get into it. And this one does have a it's in a bag here, which is a little bit different, but that's okay. So we'll get that off. And kind of go through the magazine a little bit here. We can see we got Venom, Rhino, some stuff. I don't know what this says, but I do really like the Spider-Man Noir and the Peter Porker, Spider-Ham, Spider-Pig character there. I don't have either of these in minifigure form, but I would love to get them. I don't know how many times they've been represented. I'm not sure. I have to look into that, because if they have been in minifigure form, those are 2 that I would really like to get. But we will go into this. Like I said, this is number 4, it appears. So inside the front page, normally we have like contents, table of contents. There might even be some little activities on the first page. Looks like we have Ghost Rider, Mysterio, Scorpion characters in there, and Ninjago magazine or Ninjago set kind of ad onto the next page, already right into the instructions. So we'll come back to that. Then we have let's see here. Interesting. Oh, interesting. We have some different games, different puzzles here, which have some little relation to characters. You got Doc Ock, Miles Morales, again Spider-Gwen, the Goblin. I don't know if that's, I think that's Green Goblin, not Hobgoblin. Venom here, and then we have a Lego comic book here, or comic, so it's something of the Scorpion, and there's a few pages of that. I can't read Italian, like I said, but that's okay. Looks like we have what is it, Michael Keaton, Hawk guy. I can't remember his character's name right now, or Bird or something. Anyway, then we have the posters in the middle here. So one side of it has kind of different spider people, with Gwen and Miles and Peter Parker, I'm assuming, and then the inside has a Green Goblin one. This is really fitting for kind of the Halloween season, so that's really cool. I actually really like this one. It's kind of spooky, has a lot of these pumpkin bomb type things. Then we also have Daredevil, and who is this? I'm not sure, actually. Off the top of my head, I might be forgetting. Here we got, again, some, I think, Daredevil, which is really cool. It's another figure I don't have. Sandman here, Electro, and maybe this is kind of a spot the difference type thing. Is that what we're doing here? Or maybe not. Some more games, activities, the continuation of the comic, which is very cool. I would like to be able to read this in English. Maybe I'll have to look that up. Couple more activities, games, some coloring to design your own kind of spider suit on a minifigure, which is a really great idea. And then making this ghost spider thing. Is that maybe coming out soon? That's pretty cool. If you got that figure and the little spider drone build there, that would be really great. We got the answers for stuff. And then this is weird. I don't see this a ton, but I guess because this is printed by a company that's not necessarily Lego, this is like maybe contracted out to somebody, that this Blue Ocean company, which I think was the same as the French one, but this is not a Lego product here. This dinosaur-y car thing magazine, so that's a little bit interesting. I didn't expect to see that there, because it just seems like a different company, unrelated product. And then on the back we have something about the Ninjago magazine, which has a special J character there, which is really cool. So that's good. It's about standard for these superhero ones, but now we will get into the build. So while I put this together, I will speed the video up and then I'll slow it back down to review this Polybag magazine set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the build for this Lego Marvel Spider-Man Spider Crawler set, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and now on to my review for this set. Okay, so that is this Lego Marvel Spider-Man magazine foil pack paper bag polybag type set for the Spider-Man and Spider Crawler here. This is interesting. It's a little bit silly, but I like that. I'm a fan of silly stuff, creative stuff, and whatever. So that's very cool. And there is a minifigure in this one, so we will look at that first. This is a pretty standard Spider-Man minifigure here. So the eyes actually look okay printing wise. Now I have to make note of this and see if I can compare. I'll have to dig out a different Spider-Man figure, because from what I understand there is some differences based on region and production facilities. And so I thought for like certain kind of droid heads, like R2-D2 heads in certain regions, like in Europe, they're usually printed better than they are in the US, where oftentimes they're lopsided. And I don't know if they have differences in opacity here for the printing, because we're looking at the eyes here, and that's like white printed on red. It's potentially, a red minifigure head with black printing for the web and for behind the eye. And then if the white is laid down on top of the black, that could help a little bit, but usually the black would still bleed through a little bit there. I feel actually right now that these eyes don't look as pink as I'm used to seeing them, so I'll have to look for a other Spider-Man. And I have one here, but it is not a Peter Parker, so it's not quite the same. But and I guess maybe this one's supposed to have a little bit of, there is a little blue in there. Yeah, I'll have to dig out a Spider-Man figure to really confirm, but to me, just based on having this in my hand, it does feel like the eyes are printed better here than they are in the US. Let me actually see if I can find one right now. Okay, so I found one, and maybe I am just being crazy. Maybe I'm being a little bit biased here. Maybe I've just always heard that the European ones are a little bit better, but this is the American one on the right and the one from Italy on the left. Can I see a difference between those? Now I am colorblind. I think there is a slight difference in the just whiteness of the eyes. I feel like these ones on the right are just a little more transparent, such that the darker color that is printed underneath the white bleeds through a little more, giving it kind of a pinkish tone to it. So I could just be completely making that up in my mind. It's very subtle, but it seems to be true for me. At least looking at these two here. So this one's from Italy in this magazine, and this one on the right that I'm shaking is from a set in the US. So that's kind of interesting to note if that is the case. We do have the kind of grid web on the back, looking at the torso, just the red and blue musculature, classic Spider-Man uniform here with the logo. Do have printing on the arms, which is nice, and then just the blue legs, which they often have, and I wish there was printing on there, but that's okay. Good to get arm printing. Back of the torso looks good. Again, very standard here. And then the rest of the polybag and the rest of this set is this spider crawler. So as I understand, from the images here, this is a vehicle. It's a gadget as well, but it's kind of this weird middle ground. It reminds me very much of a spider drone that I've seen, so that maybe Peter would have this sent out remotely to go somewhere, but because of the scale of it next to a minifigure, and because it does have a seat and some levers, it is supposed to also be a vehicle of some sort. Now, I don't know. The reason I think this is silly is that I don't know if there's really any place that this makes sense for Spider-Man, except for maybe like fun. It seems to me like there are most places that this spider crawler could access, Spider-Man could also access, whether that's climbing walls or swinging or crawling somewhere. I just feel like Spider-Man can already do that stuff, which makes this kind of like a needless sort of accessory, which I think is kind of quirky and fun. I think it's imaginative. Now, I don't know if the spider crawler like this is ever in the comics or in the games. I don't remember it specifically in the games that I've played, maybe it's just a Lego thing, which could be. Otherwise, maybe the scale is just really scaled down. Maybe there's a spider crawler that is, quite a bit bigger, but because they did this, it's almost like a micro fighter version. I could see that being the case, but I think that's really interesting at this scale. I think it's very cute and fun to imagine Spider-Man kind of using this just to get around, when Spider-Man could very well swing or jump or crawl up a wall or anything like that, or just walk, and imagining him sort of going around on this spider crawler instead is very fun to me. So I think that's really cool. The build for this is pretty straightforward. About what you see is what you get. So we start just with the 4x4 kind of round plate. Add all of these little 1x1s with the bar coming off of it at different angles. Then we add a modified plate with the bar on the on one of the sides, and then these slopes on the other side. Add a little bit of a tail thing here in the back that gets clipped on. We do put a minifigure chair right in there, a couple levers, and then we have some like eyes or some lights on the front that are also clipped on. And then the last thing you do is 8 of these legs, which are that kind of older mech finger piece plus the barb piece there. So those you can articulate and get this kind of higher, or you could have it splayed out and have it be very low, which also looks pretty cool. It's just kind of got a wider walking thing there versus having them all really tight in there, but either of those is cool in my opinion. I think they're both perfectly fine, and yeah, you can kind of have these all operating on their own, and it's still relatively stable. And then if you needed to, these can swivel a little bit here just because they are one stud there that is between these plates. You do put those at an angle, so theoretically you could move those a little bit, and then you could get kind of a functioning little spider crawler here, spider walker thing. And that's kind of everything in this set. There's no like stud shooters, there's no web slinging or web blast pieces here that come in this, but you do get the minifigure and you get this vehicle or accessory, this little build, which is really, really nice. Actually, this feels to me like it could be a $5 polybag. And like they've done recently the Venom motorcycle with a minifigure and a small build, and I think they've done other stuff like that in $5 polybags. And this, more than some of the other kind of magazine sets that I've looked at, feels really quite good. In fact, there was one magazine set that I looked at that I think really didn't have much. It just kind of had the minifigure and maybe a web and some blasts, which is still nice to get, but I think this is a bit better here, which is really cool. And then I think if there's the other one at the rear that it seemed to be teasing or announcing, this one with the Spider-Gwen and the Spider drone type thing here, similar build but different color scheme, and probably a little bit smaller, but that looks really interesting too. It's not a vehicle in the same sense, I don't think. I don't know if there's a place for Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider or whatever to sit on there or operate that, but it's probably just a remote controlled kind of thing. But that feels really good, actually. I don't mind that at all. So I think this is a great value here, considering the minifigure, the IP attached to it, the build, the pieces in here, the play that's encouraged here, all the activities and the comic in here that I can't necessarily make the most of because I don't read this language, this Italian version, but I imagine the English version there would be plenty of stuff to do, and for people out there that get these in their language, I think there is stuff in here that is quite cool. So I think this is good. I think the value makes sense on this. Maybe this is one of the better magazine kind of paper bag, foil pack, polybag type sets I've looked at so far. I think this one's really quite good. I did just look at one that was a Bat Bike, and that one didn't come with a minifigure, so interesting to see that here. There's no extra pieces. You would get maybe one of these barb pieces in that kind of pearl silver, one of these translucent studs. Traditionally you might get one of these levers, but for these I don't think they typically do extra pieces like they might in polybags or box sets or anything like that, so we don't get any of those. But you get a spider crawler, you get a Spider-Man minifigure, potentially with better eye printing from Italy than I would get in the US, or maybe they're exactly the same and I'm just convincing myself otherwise, but that's what it appears to be to me. So that's really pretty cool. I like this. I think I got a good deal. So great. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the LEGO videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more magazines, more Spider-Man stuff, and then tons of other LEGO sets from all different themes, all different shape, size, price point, piece count, tons of different stuff. So subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming LEGO videos. Subscriptions help me a lot, so thank you very much. And then if you wanted to support the channel in another way by giving money to the channel, you can do that here on YouTube with membership, supers, and thanks. And I have the Patreon. It's in the video description on my channel page, patreon.com/sobricks. So maybe consider checking those out if you wanted to, give money to the channel. That is a big help. It's not needed, it's not necessary, but it is really, really helpful and really appreciated. So thank you very much. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.